Welcome back to More Wealth Retirement Talk. I'm Jacqueline here with Dave and Shawna Moore. Today we're diving into something incredibly timely and honestly something that could cost people a lot of money if they're not paying attention. Taxes. Taxes in retirement. With tax returns due next week, we thought that this would be the perfect time to talk about not just filing taxes, but actually planning for them. And I think taxes are one of the number one things that get forgotten, especially when it comes to retirement. So Shawna, Dave, this is a big one. How are both of you doing this morning before we get into it?
We're doing good, Jacqueline. It's been a busy week. How about yourself?
It's been good. I mean, we were just chatting before the show about the events that you had last week, and I want you to share with our listeners, what's your takeaway from it? How did it go?
It was, we did a women's retirement event in Tennessee, in Gallatin, and that's our first women's event there. We've done many of them in Phoenix. We've done some in the past back in California, but it went very, very well. We had a great turnout, a lot of great questions, and I felt that it was really just more of a conversation. It's the design and the goal is to be more educational and just make people more aware of the things to think about, especially women, even if you're married, but also for divorced women, for single women, for widows, just some things that they need to think about to plan properly for retirement and feel that they have kind of more of a safe place where they can ask those questions and not feel that they're a stupid question or be afraid to ask it. We really want them to just be comfortable in asking those questions. And so the women were all great. They were all super nice and asked a lot of great questions. And I think it was a good turnout, and we have some good meetings set up with that. So
good. I'm super excited for you. And I can just tell, it just gave you so much energy. Even talking about it, you just seem, just those connections are there, and it just gives you so much excitement for what's to come.
Exactly. Yep. And we kicked Dave out of those, by the way. So you can't ask him a lot of feedback on the women's one. If we do Social Security or taxes, then we include him. But Nicole was there for that. So
yeah.
Yep.
Dave, how was your week in Nashville, right? You guys spent a week there, right?
We did. It was awesome as usual.
Yeah.
Got to see some friends, got to go downtown, got to do a lot of local things. So yeah, it was a good time. And, when Shawna's happy, I'm happy, right? So I could tell by the, when I called her, or she called me when it was done. You could just hear it on the phone. It was really successful. So we're really happy about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can definitely just tell in her voice right now too.
Yep.
We're talking about you like you're not even here with us. So.
Apparently I'm not. I mean, at least you say it to my face, right?
All right, guys. Well, I'm excited for this topic. So let's dive in.
Welcome to More Wealth Retirement Talk, where finance meets fun.
Join financial expert Shawna Moore,
sports analogy pro and dad joke king Dave Moore,
and Jacqueline Gladhill, who keeps us all on track
as we break down retirement planning with insights,
laughs,
and a whole lot of more wisdom.
Yeah, because let's be honest, most people treat taxes like going to the dentist. You wait until something hurts and then you deal with it, right? And usually it gets pretty expensive.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's such a great point, Dave. I mean, Shawna, what are you seeing right now with clients this time of year?
Well, we see a lot of questions. We've been fielding a lot of calls lately from clients, but what we see a lot, especially with higher income or high net worth families, is that the taxes are being reactive instead of proactive. We're not actually planning for them. So people come in with their tax return and they're saying, here's what happened. How did this happen? But the real question should be, what could we have done differently before December 31st and taken more of a proactive approach?
So, Shawna, what's the risk if someone doesn't necessarily think that way?
Well, oftentimes what we see is they end up paying tens, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars extra in taxes over their retirement than what is actually necessary. And that's not because they did anything wrong or their CPA did something wrong, but it's because no one helped them connect all the moving pieces. You have to look at your investments with, dividends and income, but also capital gains, tax loss harvesting, Social Security, required minimum distributions, Medicare premiums. I mean, those things are all tied together. And if you're not taking a proactive approach and planning accordingly, then you can wind up paying more in taxes than you need to.
So let me ask the listeners something. How many of you actually know what tax bracket you'll be in 5 years from now? Or better yet, how many of you are assuming taxes will be lower later?
Mm-hmm.
Because historically, that hasn't exactly been the trend.
Right.
I guess you're right. I mean, that's a little scary when you put it that way. Shawna, are people usually surprised by this?
Yes, they're very surprised, especially the high earners who have done a great job saving. They've built a large 401k or they have a large IRA, but they haven't really thought through what's going to happen down the road when the required minimum distributions kick in. Or if one spouse were to pass away and their filing status changes from married filing jointly to single, they're not looking at these things. And that's when taxes can spike dramatically.
I bet. So even people who did everything maybe right can still run into problems?
Exactly. And that's why we say this isn't about tax filing. What we're talking about is tax strategy or a tax plan for your retirement years and actually making a plan for that versus just filing your taxes. Those are two completely different things.
Yeah, be proactive versus reactive for sure. So, all right, so let's kind of shift into maybe finding solutions to this. I mean, what does real tax planning actually look like?
Well, that's a great question, Jacqueline. And, tax planning is forward looking, whereas tax filing is what happened last year and we're filing for that. So we're talking about forward looking in advance. It's asking things like, when should we take our income in retirement and from which accounts? So you're going to have taxable accounts. You're going to have pre-tax. You're going to have maybe some Roth accounts. So from which accounts do you take it from and in what order? What's going to make the most sense? So for example, maybe some questions are, should we be doing Roth conversions now while rates are lower? Could it be dependent on your income right now? But that could be a possibility. Should we harvest gains on our investments strategically? Maybe another question, should we reposition assets to create some tax-free income later for our retirement? And this is where, I recently completed a tax planning course, where this really comes in because it's about integrating that tax strategy into every financial decision for your retirement portfolio.
So basically, instead of just reporting to the IRS what happened, we're playing chess instead of checkers.
Exactly. Bingo, Dave.
Well, it's a good thing I switched over to chess. I've been playing checkers my whole life, by the way, which would explain a lot.
Yeah, that changed about a little over a decade ago for you. Sure, playing chess.
Well, from my perspective, I think a lot of listeners will relate. You spend 30 to 40 years building wealth, and then retirement comes, and suddenly you're asking, where do I pull money from? How much is taxable? And why is Medicare suddenly more expensive? Nobody really prepares you for that, right?
No.
Yeah, Dave, that's such a great point.
Speaking of great, you want to hear a dad joke?
Another one?
Of course.
I think we just heard one.
Every week, yeah, but we haven't done one yet.
You know why we come on these podcasts is waiting for your dad jokes, right?
Well, okay, here it goes. Okay. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Radio.
Radio who?
Radio not. Tax season's here.
I get it.
What's a bad one? We need a sound effect for that one.
Okay, wait.
Oh, the judge rendered her decision. No.
You get an A for effort, but you get a D for that dad joke.
Wow.
Radio.
Oh, that's almost better than your joke.
Wow.
Well, I mean, so who really needs to be paying attention to all of this tax talk right now, Shawna?
Well, honestly, Jacqueline, anyone that has a significant amount of retirement savings, or if you have a good amount of investment income, if you own real estate, maybe you have a business ownership, or you just have multiple income streams. But especially for high net worth families, because small percentage mistakes on large portfolios become very large dollar mistakes. But honestly, all of us need to pay attention to this.
And let me add something. This isn't about avoiding taxes. This is about not overpaying. There's a difference.
That's a huge difference. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I feel like every time we do one of these maybe somber tax topics, I learn something new. But I also realize how much people truly don't know.
Exactly. And that's really why we do this. You know, we don't expect our clients to know this. With some of our tax planning, to be honest, some tax filers aren't aware of some of these things that we're talking about with our clients. But this is what we help our clients with, is we want to simplify complex topics and help our clients and people make smarter decisions.
And to keep Shawna from explaining this stuff at dinner every night.
Hey, you love it.
I do, but now the listeners can share with the experience.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Share my pain.
Also,
Share your pain.
yeah, I was just going to say, you just admitted that you love it, Dave. So
Yeah.
that's
You
now
can't-
on the podcast.
He can't say he loves it and it's pain at the same time. I mean, that's kind of contradicting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever.
Well, to our listeners, you know, if today's conversation got you thinking, even just a little bit, it's probably time to take a closer look at your own plan.
Yes, and we do offer a complimentary consultation where we can walk through your current tax situation, your retirement income strategy, and see where potential inefficiencies might exist. There's no cost, there's no obligation, just clarity.
And if you want more of this kind of content, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, check out past episodes, and head over to our YouTube channel to watch Shawna's national TV interviews. She's kind of a big deal.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, yes.
I'm just saying, I married up and I married well.
I'll agree with that one.
Well, you can also make sure to grab a copy of Shawna's book, Retire with More, or schedule directly at morewealthtalk.com, or give us a call at 833-4-MY-WEALTH. Just make sure to our listeners out there to be prepared for Aunt Irma and Uncle Sam to come knocking, and, you know, make sure to have some dinner ready.
Yes. Well, we hope you enjoyed this podcast today and learned some information. Again, give us a call, but thank you for joining us on another episode of More Wealth Retirement Talk.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to More Wealth Retirement Talk with Shawna,
Dave,
And Jacqueline.
We hope you enjoyed the mix of financial insight,
sports wisdom,
And a few dad jokes along the way.
Join us next week for more ways to plan smart,
laugh often,
And retire with confidence.
Advisory services are offered through More Wealth Partners, LLC, an investment advisory in the state of Tennessee. Insurance products and services are offered through More Wealth Management, LLC, an affiliated company.